Right. So today we are talking with Allison. She is a lovely warrior I got to photograph here in the San Francisco during the flat retreat. And we're going to talk to her kind of about her cancer journey, what that looked like, and how she enjoyed the experience of the Warrior Women portraits, and maybe some tips and tricks that she maybe found that helped you through the process. So without further ado, let's talk about you, Allison.
Thank
What
you.
was your cancer journey like, how your tumor was found, and so on and so forth?
Well, thank you. Hello, everybody, and big thank you to Danielle for inviting me on this Zoom call. My cancer journey, it was actually found during a mammogram, and I had what was lobular cancer, breast cancer. So it didn't grow in a lump. It grew how it was described to me, like sort of in a like with fingers and spines, so very hard to detect. And because of that, chemo wouldn't have helped. Chemo would have poked holes in it like Swiss cheese. So I opted for a double mastectomy without reconstruction, and then I had to do 33 sessions of radiation.
Wow. I can't even imagine. I can. How often did you have to go in for radiation? Because it's consistent, like a lot, like in a row, right?
Yes, so every day, Monday through Friday, and after I taught school, I'm a fifth grade teacher, I went to my radiation appointment. I was put on a break twice for 3D burns.
Wow. I
They're
can
actually
imagine.
burn cream. Yeah,
Yeah.
applied twice.
Oh my goodness. That is how long I didn't have radiation. Can you kind of explain the process a little bit as far as um, like if you had, I know it's similar to getting like tattoos, they know where to actually focus the radiation and like how long the appointments were since you were going in so often.
Yes, that's a good question. Well, first they lay you down and they mold your head, and so your head won't move and it will be in the same place every time. And correct, I got four little tattoos, little pinpoints, so they knew where to radiate me. The appointments didn't last that long, but one thing I had to do because it was the left breast is when they radiated it, they were also radiating the lymph nodes. I had to breathe in and hold my breath so my lung protected my heart.
Oh my God, what a process. And I can imagine you were probably laying there going, did I like take a breath big enough, right? So, did I do it? Am I doing it satisfactory? Or like, I don't know what the word I'm trying to say, but like, there has to be a moment of like, did I do it good enough, right?
Correct. In fact, they made me practice before they gave me radiation, and they said, "Okay, you can, like as an astronaut, how long can you hold your breath, right? And if you could hold it for
Yeah.
20 or 30 seconds each time, then you were good." And I could, but I do remember one time where I wasn't able to get enough air, and I think they started a machine, and I said, "Wait, I need to start over." So that might have been a particular time where I didn't protect
Sure.
me.
Yeah, I had no idea, especially not going through this. This is another reason why I wanted to talk to ladies because all of our experiences are so different, and what our journey is like. Did you have any family history of breast cancer?
Yes. Circling back to that question, though, the appointments were probably, the radiation was probably 15 to 20 minutes. But,
Okay.
the whole appointment, getting in there, getting changed, waiting for a room, probably 30 minutes. Family history, yes. My grandmother on my dad's side died of breast cancer, and his oldest sister died of ovarian cancer. And then my sister, I have two sisters. My middle sister died of ovarian cancer, and my oldest sister also had breast cancer.
Wow. So you have it on a lot of avenues. Did you do genetics testing because of all of that?
Yes, and I was actually I'm the youngest, but I was diagnosed first and had the genetic testing. And so I was, negative for BRCA1, BRCA2, and all the other tests. Those are the two main ones ladies know
Yeah.
about. But my middle sister was BRCA BRCA positive. I think
Okay.
BRCA1 positive. Yeah.
Do you think by you going through the journey that it allowed them to like go and find their own, to be more proactive with their own treatments since
I
you
think
were
my
first?
oldest, yeah, I think my oldest sister, yes, but my middle sister who had the ovarian cancer, it took her a while to get into the doctor, and by that time, ovarian cancer, had taken over.
Right. Oh, that's awful. So how long did they start radiation shortly after surgery? I don't
That's
know
a,
what the wait time generally is.
let's see. So, I was diagnosed in September of 2017, had my operation in October of that year, and then I didn't start radiation until the following year in January.
Okay. Okay. Was there anything that you were really taken aback by just going through the process? I know some things like for myself, you always think of chemo as you losing your hair, but I was not prepared. I didn't even realize like, oh yeah, no, you'd lose like all your hair, like nose hair, and like so that was something I was surprised about. Was there anything that like you just kind of were like, oh gosh, I didn't even think about that?
Yes, they told me that was going to be burned and then it would be darker, but it should fade over time. It faded, but I have broken capillaries and blood vessels all along the left scar, and I
Okay.
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Did you have any difficulties going flat, doing an aesthetic flat closure? Was that something that you just automatically were like, that's what I'm doing? Or I know because you were lobular, it makes your choices a little bit different, but obviously reconstruction is or is not an option. I'm not 100% certain there.
It was an option, but I immediately knew and intrinsically knew I wanted it to go flat. When I brought that up to the breast surgeon, I said, "Well, I had to lose the left breast. The tumor was too big. I had to lose it." And I said, "Well, if you're going to take one, take the other one." She said, "But there's no good reason." I said, "Well, the reason is I don't want reconstruction." And she said, "Oh, you want to go flat? Okay, then."
Great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That is
Mhm.
awesome. I love hearing that because you and I obviously are very big advocates for um, the aesthetic flat closure and stuff like that. And I love hearing that your doctor was really receptive to that because I know that not all women have that experience. Um, did you have any things that you were surprised about, even though you knew that you were going to go flat? Was there anything that was like body composition wise that you were kind of like, oh, I wasn't expecting that kind of thing?
Yes, interesting question. So I was fairly endowed, like double D. And so I like still have a little bit of balance problems. Like my center of gravity is different. Even though I'm like 6 years, almost 6 years out here, I'm like, oh, okay, 5 years.
That's yeah, that's interesting. I can imagine you like even just your posture would be different. I know mine I was I didn't like my breasts, so I was very like hunched over all the time. And now I'm just kind of like like I'm trying to learn like okay, I can like literally sit up and stuff. So that's very interesting. I like hearing that. Well, let's talk about your warrior experience. Uh,
Okay.
we were able to get you in last minute in San Francisco during the flat retreat weekend that I went there. It was such an amazing time getting to know all you ladies because that was my first retreat. And I was so glad you were able to jump in at the last minute. Uh, were you excited? Were you nervous? What were your thoughts kind of going into the process?
I was so excited. So I was one of the people who planned that retreat. So I had been working all day, flying in that day, making sure everyone was comfortable, making sure everyone was having a good time. And I wasn't originally on the list, right? But I saw these women going in there and coming out and just a wonderful experience. And it looked so fun. And I just feel like the warrior is me. Like that, I'm more warrior than anything, and I'm just gonna go ask her if I can just get on the list and be the last one.
Yeah.
You so easy to work with, so sweet. Sure, come on in, you and your daughter. Doing my makeup. I love to get dressed up and look like
Yeah.
different. And then you telling me like, okay, you're a warrior, you gotta come
Yeah.
at me. And
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I was dead tired, but you gave me my second light that night, and so I did the best I could, went at it, and I enjoyed it so much that I want to sign up again.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And I've heard that a lot actually. They're like, okay, well, I'm gonna be this character next, or you know what I mean? Because it's like playing dress up and your alter ego. I think it's really fun to look at imagery of that of a nature where you're not mom or teacher or wife or whatever, and you're this persona, right? And I equate it to like Beyonce. She has her Sasha Fierce, when she goes on stage. And I think that internal warrior that we have inside, like it's hard to remember how strong we really are. And so that's what the vision that I see this is just, really celebrating that we are strong individuals and have done really hard things. And I love that you had a really good experience. What was your take? Because I know every lady is a little bit different on what they want to do. Some want more of a simplistic look. Some don't want to use like the faux weapons I have. How is that? How did you feel about that?
I loved the weapons. I loved the makeup. I love you put a big, jewelry necklace, warrior woman necklace on me. Yeah, the next time I want to do something different, a different character, a different persona. I love like the faux fur coat you have on some of the women, and
Yeah,
I was there with the sword, but I'll pick a different stance next time. I can't
yeah.
wait. And you were so easy to work with, and the turnaround. You got my picture to me very quickly,
Well, thank
All of a
you.
sudden it's like, hey, where are your pictures are ready? Let's sign up, see which one you like.
Yeah, yeah. I have to admit, I was a little overwhelmed after leaving San Francisco because I had such a backlog at that point. And I was just like, oh gosh, I need to get because it provides me with so much excitement to see um the feeling that the imagery that comes out, because I think we do play a character and see us as in a different light, so to speak. And so I'm really glad that you enjoyed it so much that you want to do it again,
Oh
and
yeah,
we will
I
do
want to do
it.
it again. You live in Oregon, but if we can get you to another flat retreat, I want to do it again.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Um, is the last thing I always like to ask ladies, is there anything that either you found eased uh, your time through treatment, that like for instance, your burns or things like that that kind of helped yourself go through that process, as well as if there was anything positive that came out of it?
I think what eased me is finding women like me, my community, my group, asking them questions, finding them, being able to meet them and bond with them. And then what was the second part of that question?
If there was anything that you found, through surgery or radiation, like a tool or something, that just it helped you through the healing process. Um, I know, like I took my mastectomy pillow like everywhere I went, just because I just felt like it was like comforting me a little bit. Um, but I was just curious if there was anything you were like, okay, that really helped um, the process of relieving any pain or making things a little more comfortable.
I didn't have anything tangible, but I just decided that I was going to work, and that made me forget a lot about the pain. Teaching fifth grade, I do enjoy it, love my students, and I had been away from them for 4 weeks, and I just wanted to get back to them with the
Yeah.
surgery.
And did they know what was going on? Were they privy to that?
They knew, I think they just knew I had cancer and I was gonna go to a surgery. We had the counselors come talk to them because I was
Okay.
gonna be gone for 4 weeks. It was 5 with it backed up to a Thanksgiving break. So by then I was ready to come back. So
Okay.
they knew I was going through a surgery. Yeah.
I can imagine they were so eager to see you again. And I know myself as well. You don't realize how much you really enjoy certain things until you can't have it or can't do it for a while. So I totally understand that, and I love that you were able to work and at least have it be distracting enough to kind of help you through the process, because I'm sure that is an absolute lot to deal with. Is there any other tidbits that you would like to share with everybody before we sign off?
One more, I think one thing is, I've heard this say before where nobody wants to belong to this group and have cancer, but what happened is that it made me live life. And I used to be very shy and introverted and timid. And though I still am, like I go out now to live my life the best that I can. Every day I try to live as, as
Yeah,
the best I can.
that's awesome. And I feel absolutely that's one thing, the gift of that, of like the clarity that life gives you when you go through a cancer treatment. It's one thing I wish I could gift my family and friends. The clarity that you get, um, like you said, like every day is just like I just want to like focus on today and just enjoy life the best to my abilities. And you know, tomorrow will be there, but today we'll, celebrate today. So yeah, I totally understand that
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly
Well,
how.
Allison, thank you so, so much. I appreciate everything you do for the community, and I was able to meet you, and you're just fantastic. And I know I'm going to see you again, and we're going to have big old flatty hugs.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course, of course. Well, yeah. Well, thank you again. Thanks for
Well,
listening, everybody.